is 27 minutes after 9. Wow, good moment of truth with Ulungelo Ganzama. I'm standing in for Ulungelo Ganzama, moment of truth, and Kululi Caps can go from a social crossover and now to a moment of truth. And Genjogobe sent in Tembisile that is not related to a cylinder lane and Flanje and Sugar Power Boxing South Africa. He is here, the acting CEO of Boxing South Africa, or Mr. Erick Sithole. Bambizu Job, please allow me to call you Job. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, being Mama. Good job.
I'm blessed. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this morning, and welcome to the province of the Eastern Cape, the Mecca, your boxing.
Ngiyajabula kakhulu ukuthi umuntu usejwayele ukubala. I think sekumele ninginikeze land. Siza ya.
Nesiduko and sikunike sagqiba sikuthi inkosikazi ne ngomXhosa uzobana lava vuma.
Mletheni.
Siyabulela uba ube nathi ke ngalentsasa namhlanje, and we believe that boxing South Africa is in the process of reviving boxing culture, okanye boxing as a culture in South Africa. Different Gonda, what will be different this time? Because we've been watching boxing sisakhula sibancinci and Dingani Thobela or Matala kumnandi culture boxing, but for some reason yahla decline yafa yangathi zange sabanayo esport esi boxing. Ngaba mhlawumbe nina as boxing South Africa, what will be different this time?
I think into color that you fix in any organization, more figure you look back to where it was before, and then you do what we call restoration of glory.
Sure.
We knew boxing as a sport ebesithandwa kakhulu eminyakeni edlule sakhula kuma 90s ma 80s, and then something happened lapha kuma early 2000 ya decline. Since then back and forth kungabuyi ngazathi kwenzakalani boxing. So I was saying the first thing that we need to do, let us restore, let us take it back to its former glory, and then also now add some programs.
Sure.
Azokwenza ukuthi wonke umuntu afile ukuthi boxing now is a sport of choice. Boxing is sport esingathatha wonke umuntu, umuntu wesifazane ngangena kusona, and boxing yanakekela. Why I'm saying boxing yanakekela? Because it's an issue ukuthi our boxers, when they retire, sometimes they retire sebe broke, or abanye bayaqhubeka balwe ngisho sekumele ngabe baya retire about 35, because bacabanga ukuthi yona nto abaphila ngayo boxing. So we're going to have programs now city, the ABCs of boxing, ngena boxing uziyophuma, the life after retirement, what happens after you've retired as a boxer.
You find that boxer isweleka kufuneka kubethwe inkazathi kudityaniswa amacala for funeral yomntu owe well temp, mhlawumbe not once, sometimes 4 times, but ngoku izawuba kubethwe amacala for funeral yayo. So ni kahle niceba uyenza njani lento ugqibo uyicacisa, nicinga uba ningayenza njani ukuze ibe kanti inophumelela, ngoba abantu abasenayo laa nto abasakhuthazi nabantwana uba mabayolwa amanqindi kuba bebona into yobana boxing yinto yomzuzwana, excitement yomzuzwana, and then after couple of years gone silibele ngawo, silibele nge-former champs zethu or the likes of Obotile or Makepula asibaboni na the beast Bungu umuntu waziwa lihlabathi. Niceba uyenza njani kahle Jobe?
Angiqale nge-life after retirement. Sithi for instance mawuqashwa nje emsebenzini wonke umuntu umsebenzi lo uqashile une responsibility enze isiqiniseko sokuthi uyakukhuthaza ukuthi iba nendlela ubeka ngayo imali, thatha ama policies zonke lezo zinto. So we're going to go there. We've already started. We're going to have 3 principles in relation to policies. The first one is the issue of funeral cover if you are a boxer, which is going to be implemented next year. But we've already started getting quotation from different service providers who have submitted what can be affordable for a boxer. So if you want to apply a license in Boxing South Africa, I'm going to say here's a fee for application, but also you need to apply for a funeral cover according to the service provider, so approval Boxing South Africa. And then 2, funeral cover, they need to make sure and you're going to make it compulsory ukuthi you have an investment plan.
Yeah. Okay.
So uma kade ulwa now kwi-purse money yakho sekuzoba khona i-percentage esiyibambayo siku-investele yona as-Boxing South Africa. Siyokunika le mali according to terms, maybe after 5 years or after so retired. Then number 3, silungisa indaba ye-medical aid. Ma-boxers wethu kumele akwazi. In fact, if you are a PSA license, it's going to be optional. You want to have a medical aid, here the list of service providers accredited by PSA. You can choose one and have one that is affordable to you. So that's the first thing we look at in terms of security. But if you are a boxer, there must be security to umsebenzi wakho. Moli mala today say to awusakwazi. Mhlawumbe usalwe kanye boxing cannot be predictable. Ungangena first bout and then you are out. Total awusakwazi ukuqhubeka. So these things must be in place. So it's security, job security. Then when it comes to making sure that we recognize them allegiance, we're going to have things like Boxing Museum. We're going to have things like Boxing Hall of Fame. We're going to have a special program 5 talks about that. Let us have Boxing Museum. Let abantu bezokwazi ukuthi mabeti we are going to decide, board to decide which is in Pretoria or Eastern Cape, and in each province, as of choose by board. So that if you abantu befuna ufunda ngoBaby Jack Matlala, umuntu efuna ama-tourist angene afice yonke into about him, Vuyani Bongo, Sugar Boy Malinga, Welcome Ncitha, bonke ukwazi ukuthi mawufika la uzobathola. 2, sibe we're starting a program called Documentation of Boxing History. We must be the ones as Boxing South Africa. I'm a custodian of history, boxing. So we're working with different heritage institutes, provincial and national, to ensure that when it comes to history of boxing, it is owned and controlled. Yes, and young Tolama documentaries, but owned and controlled by Boxing South Africa. Then we're going to have a Boxing Hall of Fame again, where there will be museum, the board will decide, okay, let us have Boxing Hall of Fame here, or where we're going to have a boxing house, because we're going to have a boxing house as well.
Nice. We
can decide whether we have a Boxing Hall of Fame there. But that's what we are doing in terms of preserving talent before. And we're going to do a program called Legends Commit, where we're going to invite legends to come and contribute back. Maybe bafundise labafana abancane ukuthi uziphatha kanjani kwi-boxing. The ABCs, as always say, SBCs of boxing. Sizobalanda, sizobenza befundise generation le ekhona njengamanje.
It's 9:34. This is Ngesi Radio. We're doing radio according to abathandi nabadlali nabalandeli bamanqindi Boxing South Africa. Ulapho acting CEO wakhe simbambile ke samtsala ngebhatyi bama ke sizaze ke sincokole ke sive into bana yena intoni into ngesemgqobeni ayifihlileyo uBoxing South Africa. But ndifuna ke sithethe ngomsebenzi wena ke ngokuwenzayo Mr. Sithole Ncakasana ngoba kaloku you are playing a critical role in the strategy. What do you bring to the table that will fast forward yonke lento usicacisela yona intoni wena as uJobe uvumele ngosibanditsho
yes
utsho uthi ndizisa lento to the table ngoba abaphulaphuli nababukeli bafuna ukuva ba intoni entsha ozakuza nayo bafiki bebekhona ongaphambili bafika badlula and now yes we are actor kodwa udlala indima enkulu uyintoni ocinga uzawuza nayo etafuleni enosisa utshintsho.
When we started we then realized ukuthi I think we need a structure. We need a direction that we must take as a Boxing South Africa. Singasebenzi nje noma kanjani. And then on May we said, in fact February we sat with the minister, invited minister and different organizations to say we are renewing, we are growing, we are transforming Boxing South Africa. What do you want to see? So we had a strategy in February with the minister. He made his own contribution. The president of SASCOC made his contribution. Provinces made their contribution. And then on May, we said, let us sit now as a board and the management now to craft a framework to 2027, 2028. And eventually we did. We came up with 5 programs that talks to number 1, governance and administration. That's where we're talking to the issues of federation of associations. For instance, we are saying, going forward, we need to have structures that we are, official structures that we as a board and management, we are engaging. For instance, promoters association. There must be an association that talks to promoters. There must be an association for boxers, association for referees, ring announcers, etc., etc. For instance, the Promoters Association is taking place in KZN. We will be electing the committee that will be leading the promoters. So those are the federations that come up with to the stakeholder management, we are saying we need to go all out and make sure that all provincial departments are contributing to development of boxing. Hence why we are engaging. Last week I was in Western Cape, making sure that we sign an MOU with all provincial departments. MOU, which is, it covers firstly these four things. Number one, we want provincial department to contribute to infrastructure development in the Bayama gym. Number two, we want provincial department to fund boxing tournaments. Number three, we want provincial department to train, also contribute when it comes to training and development of boxing stakeholders and the revival of baby champs. So we have to sign MOUs with all 9 provincial departments.
The MDC is at desert.
Yes, because they have to play a role when it comes to boxing development. But it doesn't end there. We've got the MOU that we're going to be signing. We're just waiting for a date of ceremony at SAPC to say, because everything has been completed. Boxing is coming back on television, 24 tournaments this year, 36 tournaments the following financial year, 52 tournaments Ngonyaka will start, which means going forward, in no time, you might start seeing on SAPC2 boxing every Friday or every Sunday. Sure. We're just waiting just a date of a ceremony to sign that, but everything has been completed.
So lamasebe ke ngoku sports ubugcisa inkcubeko, that is Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, xa benothi bona ayisiliPhondo leMpuma Kapa nisibambasele si committee asinayo. Do you have some form of backup okanye yokuthetha into yobana ii-gyms zase-Eastern Cape azizuphuculwa xa inothi isebe ngoba uthi lifanele uba liyayithatha inxaxheba kodwa linyanzelekanga, nothi asijonganga boxing yodwa, nisibamba sineplan yethu esithi sawujonga irugby, sawujonga ikarate, sawujonga i-netball. So sanibona mani nina kwi-next 5 years ninayo into enizawukwazi ke ngoku nina ningu-Boxing SA as abantu abajongene nomdlalo wamanqindi eMzantsi Afrika, uqinisekisa into yobana xa kunokuthiwa esi stakeholders iyi-1 befanele basebenzisana naso asinayo yona imali ngeli xesha.
As engaged, this one is just program where we talk about stakeholder management. You don't only communicate with provincial department, even municipalities are part of our engagement. So with different municipalities, again, we'll be engaging them, asking them to get involved. In fact, we have started. They are involved. For instance, in KZN, under Lala's municipality, Showe, they are already involved in Wakeni Gym, I think Tep Makatin. So municipalities are involved, but not only government. Even the corporate now, the private sector, we have started to engage. I cannot mention them, but we've already started to have engagement with them to say, come on board, be our official sponsors, official partners. For instance, I've been saying, umdlali umshayisibhakela umethatha ibhande i-South African champion belt umele ligqoka, kumele lihambe ne-purse money liyayitholayo usane contract, but there must be a price. Like my winning cup, this cup comes with 15 million. So there must be something like that we bring it back in boxing South Africa. So we are engaging different organizations with private sector to say, come back and sponsor the South African belt. Let us bring back the prestige of the South African national title. That's what we're engaging. That's just only under program 1. Program 2, we are saying here, we're gonna make sure going forward that you don't just wake up and say I want to have a PSA license, but we're going to be assessed. There will be requirements. If you want to be a promoter, you need to prove us. Have you ever staged an event before? Do you have project management expertise? And then we're going to give you a test. You write a test, you pass, then we assess you, we give it to your board to approve your license. And then the issues of boxing convention, where we'll be engaging different stakeholders on what do they want to see in their provinces. For instance, we're going to have one in Gauteng, we're going to have one in KZN in September, we're going to have one in Western Cape, and here around November, we are projecting to have one in East London. And then we're going to have boxing awards, those just to motivate. So mawenza kahle siyak award. Then it's in program 3, lesson khulumela kakhulu ngawo, after retirement, we're going to have medical aid, in funeral cover, and my investment plan for boxers, but also women in boxing. We take it as a serious program. We need to make sure that women are participating in boxing. For instance, in KZN, 22 August to 27, we're going to have a women in boxing in KZN, visiting school, visiting municipality, workshops for women, having a women in tournament on Friday, meeting with the deputy minister doing the breakfast session, just profiling women.
Sure.
And then boxing economy. We're saying boxing economy should benefit abantu kakhulu abakwi-boxing. For instance, we need to know ama-gloves and so on, ama-gown, merchandise. How do we make sure that those who are in boxing are benefiting when it comes to that? And then we've got nation building, social cohesion under Program 3, where we're dealing with events now that celebrate national days. That's why we're celebrating Freedom Day in Free State. We celebrated Youth Day here in East London. And then today we are here celebrating the life of Madiba. So we're saying boxing must play a role ekufundiseni ngezinto ezenzekile in the past. We cannot divorce or distance ourselves from South African history. When it comes to apartheid, we don't know what happened. Why are we here today? Who made that? Who made these things to be possible? So we're celebrating the life of Madiba today here in East London. Then Program 4, now we're dealing with innovation, making sure that going forward in the manual applications, we're doing away with it. If you want to apply for staging a tournament, you're going to go online, make an application online. Sure. Revitalization of infrastructure will be identifying South African gyms that are utilized by boxers and making sure we accredit ama gym. Each gym la esetshenziswa umshayisibhakela or anyone a PC license must meet these particular requirements, even standards. And then if dealing with international partnership, making sure that boxing South Africa, even abafana bethu mabeya overseas bayahlonishwa. So we have to do a cool branding, profiling, the lifestyle. Making sure mawukhuluma nje ngocafu anyone mayembheka abona impilo yakhe yonke not eringini into yakhe kube clear ukuthi cha umfana ofundisa ukuthi i-organization South African Boxing iyafundisa nanokuziphatha nanesimilo nendlela yokumanage imali yonke into nama-priorities. So there are so many organizations, world international boxing bodies that we are working with, but we're going to make sure ukuthi we are the one of the leading institute when it comes to global territories. Right. Then the last one, as I said, the boxing heritage.
Boxing heritage, Leyama Museum.
Leyama Museum, boxing history.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and we are answering a question about how, as BSA, how are you going to re-establish a position on the world stage? But before that, let's pay the bills and see what this evening in East London. All right, you don't want to miss this one. Boxing promotions and boxing academy. Allow me, Filipino, no, that's Gideon. Allow me uphumelele Tafu bona belwela i-vacant WBA Intercontinental Junior Bantamweight title namhlanje East London ICC usukela ngensimbi yesihlanu. Get yourself a ticket, visit to www.promoandevents.co.za uzokwazi ukuqinisekisa nawe uba uzabukhona to witness ube ungqine ba ndimbonile uCafu kusithwa and the new WBA Intercontinental Junior Bantamweight title goes to uphumelele Cafu ngowalapha eDuncan Village. So qiniseke ke ba ufumana itikiti kuzana omnye umdlalo ke esujonge ngamehlo abomvu lowo ke uzabe phakathi kwakhe uDave Apollinario yena uzabe bethwa exhimfa eqhekezwa enqunquthwa uGideon Buthelezi walapha eSouth Africa. Yena ke usuka pha eJohannesburg kodwa ke uthe kumloza ndikembishe apha eEastern Cape ngoba ndiyawazi amanqinda eEastern Cape quality nayo yonke lento uzamxhimfa ke uDave utshilo Vietnam. So now ungayifaka imali yakho Gideon Buthelezi ke esimxhasane simthanda kakhulu. Share hayi man andiyazi ke bozabuphi na mna ndizabele pha eEast London ICC ngalo mzuzu manje kutshe nje okunye nje kokugqibela ndiqinisekisa into yobana uyalifumana itikiti lakho emnyango izobe 150 kubantu abayi-150 abangene kuqala. Sispecial ke esinikwa ngabakwaXaba sithi jonga ngaloza ongenileyo namhlanje phaya from insimbi yesine abantu abe-150 abangenileyo for general sitting bazawufumana itikiti nge-150, which is ila price ubuzawube kanti ke ulithenga ngayo qala online. So namhlanje emnyango uyafuna ke ufika early uzofumana esi special selitikiti. It's just a special offer nje wethu. Uyabona ne? Okay, bangabuqala banathi ke nkubeni sencokola naye uMr Nsikayezwe manje mhlale pha kuJobe. Mahlale pha kuJobe. UJobe sokapha kwa Boxing South Africa we acting CEO. Well ndifuna nje sigawule siwarhuqa Jobe manje kusondeze apha mabona kufutshane kwakhona. Sifuna ukuva kuwe ke ngoku into bana iphondo leMpuma Kapa, that is Eastern Cape, is the mecca of boxing. Siyayazi nje iyahlonitshwa kakhulu kumanqindi. How are you going to grow development yamanqindi, especially kumaphondo afana ne-Eastern Cape, amaphondo afana noLimpopo, Mpumalanga, amaphondo noko are mostly rural, right? Unlike your Johannesburg, no Cape Town, nizayincedisa njani i-development ke ngoku yamanqindi ukubuyisela umdla nakubantwana abasakhulayo babone into yobana bangayinxalenye.
Let us also firstly thank MEC walapha Eastern Cape okwazile ukuthi for iminyaka emibili landelana, I think before March 2022 uphele sikwazile ukuthi sithole MOU signed ebizama ukuthi ke i-boost economy, I mean i-boost development. So sure. I think they gave us R1 million. Then ke sakwazi uku-invite ama-promoters ukuthi abide ukuthi enze ke ama-tournament. And again, even nakulonyaka baphindile futhi asane MOU basinikeza 1.2 million ukuthi sikwazi just increasing the number of boxing activities in Eastern Cape. Akugcini lapho kuphinde futhi salauncha sanvela Eastern Cape Provincial Belt. So le yokulauncha yoku-unveila ama-Eastern Cape ama-belt provincial level kuzosiza nakhona ukuthi at the provincial level ama-activities, those who are looking forward to having being champions, because we can be a provincial champion and then invite provincial business leaders. Sure. So say come and fund, especially at provincial level, provincial belts. Okay. And then again, as I said, the MOU that will be signed with different provincial departments, whether Eastern Cape, whether Limpopo, Mpumalanga, needs to focus on my areas of gym. Umuntu akwazi ukuthola indawo facility right, and then akwazi ukuthola training and development, and then uku-revive care, as I said, baby champs program. So izinto esizibuka ukuthi uma ke saqinisa kuzona. And of course, since SABC is back on board, uzosiza ukuthi izinto ezenzakalayo seziyaprofileka, ziyabroadcasteka kubantu abaningi. Akusezukuba nje ukuthi umuntu kuba nomdlalo owenziwe ekhoneni, abantu ababuka mhlawumbe about 200. So we are trying to, for instance, you've got this platform again, sure, which is doing well, Ngesi Radio, where money corner lapana says numbers, many people will be able to watch a tournament. So we're saying it's those type of partnership, making sure that even digital online platforms are utilized or broadcast boxing. Okay. So we're going to work with the Squenza of revive boxing in these provincial departments or provinces.
All right, Sinombuzo or Koyo, as far as weight divisions and titles, which one, Masmamele, which are the ones that Ninaning Boxing South Africa are looking to develop more?
I think it's an operational matter. Director la operations uMandla ibona ke bangakwazi ukuresponda ngoba i-division yakhe leyo they've got a sanctioning committee that deals with technicalities the boxing, and then such ke bezingakaveli kakhulu. I-focus yethu thina besekuthena kwamanje, let us make sure that if ethi Uloza is South African champion, what does that mean? Let us focus there.
Okay. All right, it's 8 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is a moment of truth with Uloza standing in for Ulungelo Kanzama Singola Genaye, acting CEO of Boxing South Africa, or Mr. Erick Nsikayezwe, Custodian, Ujobe, Bambi's Ujobe, Bawela Gela accent, Bambi's Ujobe. Before the beginning, the Funanji Ukona, Klambi Muzo and Muzo Kala, Kashle, what is the vision of Boxing SA? for amanqindi aseMzantsi Afrika. Kodwa phambi kokuba undiphendule nje ndifuna ukhawuleza ndilungise kwecala ndikrobise abaphulaphuli ngokunye okuza kwenzeka this evening phaa East London arts. Masibuyele kuye ke uJobe ke sive kuye into yobana kahle kahle ithini i-vision ka Boxing SA. Siyafuna nje ukuva just in simple terms Boxing South Africa uthini na kanye mandikhaleze ke nje ndimsondeze ndifuna nje ukuva kuye iphuma kuye emlonyeni asifuna uva nto yayithethwa sifuna uva apha kuye Jobe mandikusondeze ndive kuwe into yobana mhlawumbi i-vision ka-Boxing South Africa ithini.
Uma uyifunda lapha kwi-website iyakutshela ukuthi to be a leading sport code in SA and a world-class boxing authority. Remember now, Boxing South Africa is the regulator.
Yes.
Nothing happens without us. Siyaemphasize kakhulu ukuthi ngeke uqhamuke nje noma kuliphizwe uthi prepare tournament or ngizokwenza izinto which is related to boxing without coming to us. So we regulate the environment.
Okay.
So we want to be that particular regulator ke eyenza izinto ngendlela fair. Singabi nabo abantu abaningi abahlale bekhala ngoBoxing South Africa. So sifuna ukuthi wonke umuntu akujabulele ukuthi we have a regulator erun izinto ngendlela fair and following ama procedures that ngoba it's too inemthetho eminingi eboxing and technical. So you have to make sure ukuthi we understand and those procedures and policies and those principles are applied fairly kuwona wonke umuntu.
Okay.
So we want to be that organization.
Ndivile njenge-regulator ninyanzelekile nenze ngolo hlobo kodwa umuntu othi an average citizen wathi hayi le nto niyenze exciting man Keith Ngesi Radio now that unaye u-BSA is rebranding and trying to bring back discipline and professionalism kwi-sport ndingayiqalisa njani as an average citizen ke ngoku umuntu angaba involved njani na kwi-structures ze-boxing.
Ake ngithi nje ama-province wonke kunabantu mabeya kuma-website wethu kunabantu abangafike bekhulume nabo ama-provincial managers uma efuna information. Khona information kwi-website but also at the provincial level khona ama-cell numbers kwi-website. You can contact the provincial manager mafuna ukujoyina be-advise ukuthi how do you go about doing that. Also na kwi-website there is information you want. There's an online system where you can apply and be part of boxing if you want to have a BSA license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Ndizokuyeka ngenxa yexesha Jobe kodwa andinakuyeka ndingakubuzanga njengo-acting CEO yintoni yena ndikwenza umdla. What excites you about the future ye-boxing eMzantsi Afrika?
Ngi-excitedwa i-implementation. I've been telling staff at BSA we must not be people abahlale bekhuluma nawe ngiyakhuluma sizo let us implement.
Sure.
You see, once I'm going to result here, I get excited. And as I was saying we had a board meeting, I think yesterday, I said 2022-2023, I have titled it as the year of implementation.
Sure.
So everything, as I planning this year, I value is tell show up my fruit. That's what excites me. Yeah, that's but makusakhulunywa no. Ngiyakuthanda ukuplana, but masengibona ama results. As we are seeing right now, the number of tournaments, if you look at the number of stakeholders that want to get involved, the business people that are calling me to say, we want to get, how can we get involved? The government departments, the MSCs who are supporting, there are provinces, umangiti, sifuno, ugulenda, who want to do something, how much do you need? So that's what excites me. Interest all of a sudden from everyone. They said you want to get involved with boxing. We never knew there's a boxing organization called Boxing South Africa. Since so what has happened? We are truly making a difference. Tina sasingazi ukuthi content Boxing South Africa asibona nibeshaya isibhakela kanti is an organization. Then you know ukuthi futhi umsebenzi enze number ogcina ukwehla kwama complaints. I think when I was a board member I used to log in and work Facebook. There were too much complaints from BSA licensees. Okay. But ever since we came in January, so because we cannot please everyone, but so we listen to that. Yeah, but the number of complaints has dropped kuma-social media platforms.
I can attest to that one. Ever since January, ever since you also appointed the COO, Mr. Mandla Hlanganiso, I believe he's originally from here. So amanqindi yawazi kwase buncinaneni bakhe mhlawumbi esavuza imifinya. So uyayibona and now abantu bayaqala ukunotice into bana mna ndiqala uyibona kwi-pages zakhe umcimbi woba nina you are the renewal, renew, transform, growth njalo njalo. So ingumcimbi noko onosinokesi uqhwabela izandla kubonakalisa into yobana igausi ngoku nizinyusile noko ikhona into eniyenzayo eza kwenza umahluko apha ke kwi-boxing. Kokugqibela umyalezo wakho to the nation about i-boxing eMzantsi Afrika.
Hayi ngingasho ukuthi they must come on board. They must come. Siyahamba isitimela. Siyagijima. Sibambe manje. Siseku 8. Siyazodlula 120. So abagibele manje kuyabalekwa get involved. Ungakhuluma ngaphandle, get involved, be part of the solution. Whatever. That's why we're going to do a boxing convention. Say whatever ideas you have, table them report. Let's listen to what you say. But we are moving. We are moving. And abasibekezele lase namaphutha khona abasibekezelele. Inqola yakhiwa isisemoyeni.
All right. Well, I kuyadlalwa this evening. But I know bendithe ngathi ngumfundisi xa ndizawuhlala phansi xa ndizawuyeka. Lastly, nyani ucafu yalwa this evening. Nangama-Filipino akhona naba bantwana boMzantsi Afrika bazakulwa njengoba besisazi ungathini kubo.
Besingeke ngakhuluma nabo as we're doing a build up towards this tournament, but also yesterday nanamhlanje sazophuma ngiyobabona kokugcina. Ngiyabathanda kakhulu labafana. You know uma ukhuluma ngabo, you know ukuthi ukhuluma ngabantu, especially Gideon has played a major role in boxing. Tsafu is coming. We know ukuthi there's a future champ here. Sisazokudla umhlaba. So abaqale namhlanje bekhombisa ukuthi sisazo dominate umhlaba with them.
Okay. Banqonelelo kuhle ningo Boxing SA. So ufuna sishiye kaphi ekhaya?
Ziyasalala. Amabhanda asalala. Ayasalala eSouth Africa.
All right. Masithembe ukuba kuzabe kunjalo. Well, masibulele, let's leave it there for today. Hopefully ke sawubane simonitorisha ke simane sijonge into bana ezi zicwangciso nithi ninazo ningu-Boxing SA niyazenza niyazi-implementa na sifuna uyibona i-boxing museum, sifuna ubona izidocumentwa ezi zinto. Bakhona abantu bengekasweleki bengekafi akhona amaxhego ayedlala i-boxing. I'm sure anazi izinto elinozithatha niziqokelele niqinisekise into yobana zizawuxhonywa kwezi museum. So siyafuna uzibona zonke ezi zinto, i-quality ye-tournament sijonge into yobana kuyenzeka naxa kusithiwa kukho i-way in umgangatho masubone kwapha, not only ngale mini yamanqindi. Ngalo mazwi masibulele kuwe Ntsika Yezwe Sithole ngexesha lakho osiphileyo lona namhlanje.
Kubonga thina, sibonga ithuba nje lokuba se-East London. Nasemsakazo nomuhle kangaka. Siyabonga mna. Yinhle lento engiyibona la.
Siyabulela.
eSt London.
Hayi ke setshenziswa eSt London. Siyaphusha siyabulela nathi ke xa nizile nisixhasa nitsala noko nizova nathi. Thank you so much for your time. All right. There was Mr. Ntsika Yezwe Sithole acting CEO ka-Boxing South Africa and yes, acting CEO ka-Boxing South Africa belapha ke studio nathi esincokola ke ngayo yonke esi-outlinela some of i-plans zaba nokuninzi uthetha kodwa ke ukhelele phezulu apho ke sizawuthi nathi ke sijonge now that ethethile sizafuna ukujonga into yobana uyaqhubekeka na kuyenzeka na ngoba uthi yena akangumuntu othetha ungumuntu okwenza. Sizawubuya ke singenye imini wawuthe apha kwi-Keith Ngesi radio nindawo ninguku nento ethile. All right, that's it from me. Igama lami ndinguLoza Wamamfene umzukulwana kaTamkhulu Macule kwisikhululo Keith Ngesi radio, isikhululo esingashishisiyo esisemgceni esingaqhawuqhawukiyo ngamaxesha onke. We're doing radio according to you, but this morning okanye today we're doing radio according to i-boxing. Masidibane ke sobabini mna ubenedinga nam pha eSt London ICC xa kuzabe ke kusenziwa ke umdlalo wamanqindi pha itumente esiphathileke emnqanabeni kababa boxing promotions and about boxing academy. Mandinishiye mandibaphulaphule ngengoma saphinda sidibane shortly as I'm standing in for Ulungelo Kanzama kwi-moment of truth. Zashiya ke ngengoma kaMichael W. Smith esithi oh Lord you are beautiful. No, not that one. Masiqale ngoNtando. Ndifuna esinike la esasingqi jobe se masambi no ndifuna leya ithi le moto ndifuna uba phaa extra strong apha ingoma ikhoyo abantu bayacula phaya abantu baya kuba mnandi phaa uba extra strong yena nto imnandi ukuba phaa emfuthweni singakubona pha uyocula pha ebantwini
yeah expect anything.
Yeah,
expect anything. Moment of celebration.
Yes.
Moment of truth as igamale the show.
But
moment of truth. But lapha yantamba mzosibona.
So basically with the truth.
With the truth, yes, the real truth.
So you
yonke into isikhathi seqiniso. Ubani champ isikhathi seqiniso, you will know tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Siyabulela kakhulu. Enkosi kakhulu masikushike lo Ntando kabangani esithi iyaduma le moto. Yes.